Hello again. Still here? You still following me around? You must be mad. Right. Perfect opportunity to jump back on and record some footage. So you can just see the fence with the yellow waymark. I've just come through another section of Silton Forest. We're right on the fringe of Silton Forest now. And it was quite a boggy section and quite a technical section through there, and I lost my footing on a number of occasions. But we are out. And we've just arrived at a little clearing, and I thought this would be the perfect opportunity to treat you all to something amazing. And it's not me talking, and it's not me wearing a hat. Just have a little look, my friends, at that. Look at that beautiful vista. So behind me there, down in the valley, is the village of Osmotherley, just on the fringes of the North Yorkshire Moors. In fact, it's in the North Yorkshire Moors National Park. The marker stone, the boundary stone, sits at the bottom of the hill that you climb up as you enter the village of Osmotherley. So although I say Osmotherley is on the fringes of the North Yorkshire Moors, it is actually within the North Yorkshire Moors National Park. But I thought I'd stop and just give you a little pano of what I'm enjoying today. So behind me, the trees, Silton Forest. And just drop down here a little bit, try not to fall. And then in the background there, just look at that, the beautiful countryside. A lot of snow up here still. So we're going to push on, and me being me, as I explained in my previous episode, I set my standards very high. I set my bar very high. So I thought it would be a great idea to record some footage as I take on probably the most challenging and trickiest part of today's walk, which is the descent down to the reservoir. Now this is going to be incredibly slippery, incredibly technical. You can see it's clearly waymarked. You can see the yellow marker just there pointing in that direction. That's the way we're going, by the way. We're heading on. You can see the path just down there. That's where we're going. Just have a little look though through that clearing. Isn't that beautiful? So we're going to head on down here, and I'm going to try and safely navigate the descent. I might have to cut it short because I really do need to keep an eye on where I'm going. I'm sure the last thing you, my friends, want to see is me falling over live, albeit these are not streamed live, they are recorded live, and they are completely 100% unedited as well. So we're going to have a little wander around. We've got another bit of a quagmire here to get round, so we're going to skirt around the outskirts here. But I'll talk to you a little bit more about Neg Ferrets. And last week, personally, professionally, no, actually, let me correct that. It started professionally and then became personal. I had a bit of a bad week last week. I was struggling to deal with stuff in general, mainly work stuff. I don't really have a lot of personal issues, if that makes sense. But I was struggling with work stuff, and it culminated in basically every single person that I had to deal with last week was being an arsehole, pardon my language. And everyone was treating me without any respect, yet they all wanted my help. And the conversations that I had with some people last week in the business that I run was nothing short of diabolical. And I wouldn't even talk to my enemy, or my worst enemy, in the way that I was spoken to last week by some people that sadly I have to still deal with. Isn't that beautiful? Look at the sun just behind there. So what happened is it started off as a bit of a professional issue, with everyone that I had to deal with treating me with no respect and behaving like an arsehole. And instead of shutting that down quickly, I allowed it to manifest, and before I knew it, it had gone from being a professional issue to being a personal issue. Because what I mean by that, my friends, is I started to take it personally, and I started to think that maybe they were right. Maybe I was falling short of the mark. Maybe I had dropped the guard. Maybe my standards were slipping. And it took me all week to figure out that actually I hadn't. I was still working as hard for my clients and the people that I still have to work with as hard as I normally do. I was still giving it my all. I was still working beyond the normal hours that an estate agent would work. So it had escalated from being a massive professional issue that I should have shut down quickly to becoming a personal issue. And then of course you start taking it out on people that are close to you, and you start to shut down because you don't know how to deal with it. And that's me all over. My wife will know that. And it took me all week to figure out how to deal with it. And basically what I'd done is I'd allowed the Neg Ferrets and the polar bear pirates, all of those that were trying to disrupt my karma and my good flow, I'd allowed those negative people to spend too much time in my company, and I should have shut them down on Monday or Tuesday. Instead, I allowed them to run with me until Thursday and Friday, and it took until the weekend to figure out how to deal with it. And I had to say a few firm, assertive words to a few people and ascertain exactly what their problem was, and just remind them that if they want me to help them, if they need me to help them with their move, they need to treat me with some respect. And I managed to deal with it eventually, and got my head back in gear. And here endeth the lesson. Do not run with the Neg Ferrets nor the polar bear pirates, because they will only drag you down. They will dig out your confidence. They will leave it out to dry. They will dig out your self-esteem and feed it to the wolves if you allow them to hang with you for long enough. So my advice, friends, is if you are having a bad time, ascertain as quickly as possible whether it's your fault or not. And if it's your fault, then sort your shit out. If it's your problem, sort your own problems out. But if you are allowing other people's negativity to undermine your own positive karma, then you need to shut them down as quickly as possible, okay? If you want to talk to me about how we can do that, then by all means pick up the phone, send me a message, drop me an email. I will happily talk to you about how to deal with the Neg Ferrets and the polar bear pirates. If you don't want to talk to me though, buy the book. There is actually a book, my friends, and I kid you not. There is a book called The Neg Ferrets and the Polar Bear Pirates and Their Quest for Sin City. I read it a few years ago, in fact many years ago, when I was working for a large corporate estate agency, and a dear old friend of mine, Steve Super Sparrow, introduced me to this book. And it teaches you how to see the positive in people, and it teaches you how to identify the negative in people and how to get that negative away from you as quickly as possible. So let me just treat you to a beautiful vista. I'm currently in Narnia's Wood. Well, that's what I'm telling myself. I'm believing that I'm in Narnia's Wood because it's beautiful where I am today. So I'm not going to record the descent down this hill just there. I'm actually going to switch off and put my phone away and stop recording. I'm going to concentrate on the descent because I know I'm going to need two hands to cling onto the trees either side of the path. But when I get to the bottom, hopefully we're going to find the reservoir. Last time I was up here, which was a few years ago, the reservoir was dry. I'll be amazed if it's dry, bearing in mind the amount of rain that we've had and the amount of snow which is thawing off the moors and trickling down through the bubbling becks into the reservoir. But you never know what you're going to find when you're out on these walks. And by the way, I still haven't seen anyone. I've been out for about an hour and 15 minutes now, my friends, and I still haven't seen anyone. So I'm going to make the descent. Hopefully I'm going to arrive at the bottom in one piece, and I will see you all in a little while. Take care, my friends. That's exactly what I'm going to do. See you soon.